Colonel Wyatt hits the screen, got stories bold and keen. Old soldier, sharp and mean, tells truths they've never seen. Rugby lover with a roar, Africa flowing in his core. YouTube rants they can't ignore, his passion makes his heart soar. Colonel Wyatt, hear his call, shining light through it all. Trolls may rise, but he'll stand tall. Subscribe now, don't miss the brawl. Military mind, keen and wise, truths come out, no disguise. South African skies in his eyes, hear his voice, no surprise. Retired soldier with a fight in the dark, he brings the light. Angry rants, truths ignite. Join the cause, join the ride. Colonel Wyatt, hear his call, shining light through it all. Trolls may rise, but he'll stand tall. Subscribe now, don't miss the brawl. Enemies knocked on his door, trolls attack, but he's more with each click. Watch him soar on the truth waves, he explodes. Colonel Wyatt, hear his call, shining light through it all. Trolls may rise, but he'll stand tall. Subscribe now, don't miss the brawl. Right now, don't miss the brawl.
Trading got you feeling like this? Losing your fur and your crypto? Yeah, manual charting is a beast. Makes you want to smash stuff. But wait, what's this shiny new toy? Could it be? One tap, screenshot, I trade. Go, magic box does the work. Boom, support, resistance, patterns. Even a Yeti gets it. Suddenly, green candles everywhere winning, like a boss Yeti. Gronk's making bank, snowball stacking sats. The whole cave is rich.
Yes!
Stop raging, start trading smarter. Download iTrade AI Trading Assistant, Yeti approved, not financial advice.
Yeah, your body really don't know. And this is a race when I failed me. I'm not going. Stealth in the night with the shadow sway. No words spoken, just the planes on display. Knocking out the power where danger lay. Hope's lit flame keeps the dark at bay. Boom in the silence, moves like a ghost. Choices we make, ripple coast to coast. Bridges built from ashes, no time to boast. Peace finds a way when it matters the most. They saw the storm but never the rain. The skies were quiet yet broke the chain. Tensions crumbled like a fortress in vain. The cost was steep but there's peace to gain. Boom in the silence, moves like a ghost. Choices we make, ripple coast to coast. Bridges built from ashes, no time to boast. Peace finds a way when it matters the most.
most. A hand unseen rewrote the game. From chaos to calm, a shift untamed. Lines redrawn where fire once claimed. Now a new world emerges, unframed. Boom in the silence, moves like a ghost. Choices we make, ripple coast to coast. Bridges built from ashes, no time to boast. Peace finds a way when it matters the most. When it matters the most.
I mean, it's just insane. Well, it's been 3 weeks. Okay, get a grip. I mean, honestly, people have no idea what's involved here. A thorough background investigation must be completed to prove who you are, where you're from, what you're saying is true. That has to take place. There's an administrative process that has to take place. Interviews have to be conducted. Medical screening has to be done. All this stuff takes time.
I'm saying bye to all the lies and all the times you cried, saying that I wasn't right, yet I was right by your side. You manipulator, playing games, your friends commentators, and I don't know what you say about our private conversations, but it's got them hating. Thanks to all the rumors you be claiming. It's cool, I'm done with you, so they can throw you a celebration. You gon' hate it when you see me with somebody living better. I'm trying to tell you that me just doing me gon' have you jealous.
Well, good evening, good morning to all the Neanderthals, the right-wing podcaster, the canines, aspiring car guards around the world. Welcome back to the program. It's the Night Owls program. If you thought this channel is a refugee channel, then you're misinformed. If you thought this channel was an apologist platform, you're wrong. If you came to this channel because you want objective, cogent, insightful, almost always correct analysis, and predictive analysis at that, well, then you're in the right place. Welcome back to the program, ladies and gentlemen. It's your favorite YouTube content creator. Some say the best ever. Stealing a line from the Trumpster there. Obviously not. No, that's not the case. Welcome back to the program, folks, for Night Owls. I hope you're all doing well here. I really hope things are going well. So, somebody calling me? What the heck? I wasn't expecting a call. Should I take this? Okay, I'll take it. Hello? Yes. Oh, me? You want me to do it? Okay. All right. Okay. Hang on. All right. Let me see. Let me try it again. Okay. All right. Wow. Okay. Yeah. No. Well, that's a big responsibility. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I mean, I wasn't expecting this at all. I mean, wow. Gosh, I mean, you guys must have a lot of confidence in me if you're willing to ask me to do that. I mean, honestly, I don't even work for the administration. It's a big honor. So you want me to call him? Okay. All right. Well, hang on. Okay. Let me just, folks, I gotta place a call on another phone. So just give me a second here. Okay. Gotta get this other phone up here. Okay. Let me try this very quickly here and see if I can't get this to dial out here. Okay. Let me see really quickly here. Oh, no. Folks, let me try that again. I'll try dialing again, okay? Just in case you're wondering what's going on, that was the Trump administration. They've asked me to make a few calls. The first tonight is to inform members of Congress and our allies about the attack that occurred Saturday night, because apparently some of them didn't answer the phone, and so they've asked me to call tonight. And the first one is Hakeem Jeffries. So this is the minority leader in the House of Representatives, Hakeem Jeffries. Let me try calling him again and see if he's available, because he didn't answer his phone the other night. So hang on. It's busy, man. It's busy. What's up with that? All right. Yeah, so Hakeem Jeffries is not available. Sorry about that, folks. That didn't work out so well. Hakeem Jeffries didn't work out. So who's next on the list? Let's see what we got next here. Oh, Chuck Schumer. They want us to call Chuck Schumer now. Okay, hang on. Let's call Chuck Schumer, okay? Give me a second here, folks. Let's see if Chuck answers the phone. There's no one there. Chuck's not answering the phone. Let's try one more time, folks. We'll try Chuck Schumer, the minority leader in the Senate. Okay, hang on. I know it's past his bedtime. Let's try him one more time. Nah, there's no one home. No one home. No answer. Sorry. No Chuck Schumer. Folks, I mean, I'm trying. I'm doing my best to help the White House out here. Look, you'll all forgive me now. As I apologize in advance because, she'll just presume that I've got the hots for her. So, I mean, I don't want you guys to think that that's the case. I do not have the hots for her. So let's just try my favorite AOC, okay? Let's try Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and see if we can't reach her. Does she have a 2005 Nokia ring? Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has like a 2005 Nokia ring. Okay, let's try that one more time, folks. Is she really got a 2005 Nokia ring? That's hilarious. Let's try it one more time. Okay, hang on. Dial again real quick here. That is a Nokia ring. It's like I'm fading back to 2005. I guess she's not available. Yeah, she's at the bar. Yeah, I guess we missed out on AOC too, folks. I'm sorry about this. Look, I tried to help the White House out. Mal, once rising star and conservative voice from Georgia. I think she's from Georgia. I have to use a different phone for this one. This is my regular phone. The other ones I didn't want to know my number, but I don't mind if she has my number. But let me call her now. This is Marjorie Taylor Greene. It's not ringing. Let me try that again. There we go. I don't know, folks. Marjorie Taylor Greene is not available, folks. Sorry about that. Should we try her one more time? They really want us to call her. Let me call her one more time. I'll try one more time. Whoa! That's the secret number she has. I'm calling her secret number. Folks, nobody's answering the phone. No, nobody's answering the phone. Okay, that's it. I'm not going to call Keir Starmer because it's too early in the morning. So I'm sorry. I tried. If you're listening from the Trump administration, I did my best. I couldn't reach any of these politicians. They're all obviously got better things to do at 11 p.m. than answer the phone. Yeah. So, all right. All right. So sorry about that, folks. Sorry about that. Anyway, let me say hello to everybody here. So we've taken care of business. Good morning to Dylan Combrick and OG Samantha Von Eck. My like button disappeared. It happens. Refresh. Hank, another all-nighter. I had to stand guard, tried to break in my house the third time now. It's unfortunate that, you're not in a real country where you could just shoot them. It's a shame you can't do that. That you don't want a deterrent. They don't come back if they invade your, if you have the castle doctrine. Kitty, hello to you. Chantel, just to pop in and say hello. Okay, well, in and out. Tom Pulteney, Werner van der Merwe, Karen Lang, Marquine Joubert. Your comments disappeared. I don't know. What were your comments? Rebecca, Richard Kuhn, Jaretha. Wait, Jaretha, what's going on? Mental Chewing Gum, CB's back. Cherry, Jack Up, Steampunk, Angel Gaming. Love that username. Caitlin. And Charles Van Onselen saying hello to everybody. The voice of reason, Gerald Bester, Niels Han Dynasty. Yeah, the thing is, when you say Han with an H, that's German. It means it's a chicken. It's a rooster, not like the Chinese Han Dynasty. So I'm kind of trying to figure that one out. Okay, buy silver, platinum, and crystallized osmium. Buy AbbVie. You'll make a lot more money. In my corporate circles, Trump is criticized for not being stately. He says, "Who cares?" Exactly. Who cares? He's effective, and that's what matters. All right. Myra Prinslow, welcome to Love the Intro. America should be so proud of the president. Oh, I agree that we should be proud at this moment. And I think earlier today, he expressed everyone's frustration with Iran and Israel when he said they don't know what the F they're doing. That was funny. I watched Chris's lecture on Zimbabwe and brief history that was really interesting. I don't think anyone in that room could comprehend what he's talking about, though. There was an officer from Botswana there, Brigadier. He understood most of what was going on there, so he's a pretty smart guy. Take a message. I'll get back to them. Okay, so Rolene, Bug Out ZA, Hardest, Pretorius, AJ Quinn, Cyberrags. Wow, Cyberrags, been a while. Gene, welcome there. Samantha's already there. Willem Pretorius, Shawnee Gross, in from Minnesota. Yeah. How's the weather in Minnesota today? We had 100 freaking degrees here in Pennsylvania. I'm telling you, man, it was crazy. We couldn't even get the lutefisk to dry. It was so hot. It was rotting out there in the sun. We were hanging our lutefisk out front on the clothesline, trying to dry the lutefisk out, and it just exploded in the sunshine. It was crazy. I'm telling you, man. Oh, Shawnee, I'm telling you, here in Pennsylvania. No, we trying to be Minnesota like here. We going with the Farmer Socialist Party, the Democratic Farmer Socialist Party, and we growing our lutefisk. Well, you really can't grow the lutefisk. You got to dry it. You got to catch the fish, and you just hang them up till they stink and they're rotten. You pour lots of salt on them, then you eat this disgusting stuff called lutefisk, and you say, "Hey, it was made with lye." Yeah, no, it's the lutefisk. It just went to crap today. I'm telling you, it was bad. 100 degrees, triple digits. I'm telling you, No, I saw her. She was sleeping with the little feller. Yeah, it was true. It was something else. It was something else. She was sleeping with the little feller. Yeah. Hey, what's up there? Urban Homestead, what's up? That's funny. Vibrator going off. Ingrid's inspiration slow. Michael Byrne, good morning. Cold, -6. Woo, heaven on earth. It's still 81 degrees Fahrenheit here, folks. Ouch, ouch. It's a scorcher at 11 o'clock at night. That's too warm. Nokia 33. Aha, Samantha knows that ring. AOC is working at a bar. Doing what? Or is she working the bar? Have you tried calling Adam Schiff? No, I don't have the hots for Adam Schiff. No way. The lights are on, but nobody's home. Exactly. Isn't there a Neil Young song, Cortez? I don't know. I went to a Neil Young concert when I was a freshman at university. I was 17 years old. Got a contact buzz. 9,000 people in the Convocation Center in Athens, Ohio, smoking weed. I was the only person there, I think, not smoking weed. And Neil Young, I was so far up because I couldn't afford good seats. But it was interesting. This was his trans phase. After that, it was really weird. So, no, not transgender. He had an album called Trans where he transitioned from one type of music to the other. Migo Multipass. Leilu Dallas Multipass. yeah, we know Leilu. Anyway. Okay, Sync Master, Teresa, Natasha, Kunika, welcome to you. Rakes, Xavier Grayling, Susan Koster, Blotkop, Momo, Urban Homestead, Charles. Who else we got here? Expat Family Joubert is there. Welcome to you. A nice day. Oh, wow. Tomorrow's flood. Are you serious? For sure. No, so tomorrow they're going to have a flood. Just the other day, they had like 100 degrees. People were just dying in the streets in Minnesota. No, I saw it in St. Paul, man. They're walking around. They just, boom, they drop over dead. Mostly Somalis, though. They're not accustomed to this cold, then the heat, then the cold, then the heat. They're still getting accustomed to it, Not the Hmong people, they did pretty good. They come out of the mountains down there in Southeast Asia, and they fit right into Minnesota. They figured out the cold pretty quickly. I don't know how they did it, though. Maybe because of the altitude. They're used to the altitude. I don't know. But no, the Hmong, they did okay in Minnesota. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Yes, 100 degrees is 37 degrees Celsius, centigrade. And Marencia Filion, welcome to you. Like a boss. Watch him talk to South Africa. We had just about zero media coverage from that time. Even to date, your videos have by far the most details what actually happened over there. Well, thank you for that, like a boss. Your lecture in was awesome. Hopefully knowing your sharpness over hours of listening to you on many placed you through a few jabs. It was so subtle but so brilliant. Thank you so much. I wish the quality was better, but at least I was able to salvage that, guys. So I had to do that very cleverly because my gaming PC doesn't come with a CD drive. So I have this CD which they gave to me afterwards the recording, and it's been sitting. Oh, that's kind of dusty. Look at that. Oof. It's been sitting for a while. So I bought this external drive for like $15, which I plug in to the USB 3.0, and I plug it into a connection, and was able to copy the stuff over and convert it to an MP4 file. So yeah, but I adjusted the volume. But with one of the problems, which I put in the comments, if you read it, is that some of the people, where there's microphones in those lecture halls. So everyone's got a microphone. You push the little button on the microphone, you start talking, and that way it's picked up by the cameras and by the studio, and so they get it. But no, only one person, because it's a small room, and it seats about 70, but it's intimate. And that building's no longer in use. That's Will Walker Washco Auditorium. They have a new Washco Auditorium in the new building, but that's a building they had for like 50 or 60 years. It's now abandoned. They're going to tear it down eventually. Probably afraid of asbestos. But yeah, that building, it's a lunchtime lecture, and unfortunately for me, they scheduled it on a day when not many students were in because it was the regional lecture series, and most people would have been interested in my lecture were not in class that day. They didn't come into work that day. So I had some faculty and a couple of students who made a special effort to come in to be there. So yeah, there are only about 30 people I think that showed up for that, 20 or 30. A lot of people like there was nobody there. That's not true. You just saw a couple angles of the room, and you only saw it at 1-2 stages. You didn't see it throughout the time. It might have even been 40 for all I know, because people came in and they had to go to class or had to go to an appointment or an office call or go teach and stuff like that. So they didn't stay for the whole time. But yeah, Florida is brutal. I don't know why anybody wants to go to Florida. It's crazy. 41 degrees Celsius. Oof, oof, oof. Inside their house. Their AC knocked out. Humidity in the 90s. That's like Monrovia, man. Screw that. That's like, Durban on a bad day. No thanks. No thank you. Not my cup of tea. Eldeo Fundebag. Wow, that's an interesting name. Just want to say President Trump's the leader in the world needs. Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Okay, so Florida is brutal. It is brutal. 164 people currently here. 91 likes, folks. Please hit the like button. It doesn't cost you anything but a moment of your time.
That was easy.
Well, that sounds bad again.
That was easy.
I don't know, pushing it badly, or the battery's finally wearing out after 15 years. Could be the battery's wearing out. Well, for my that was easy button, you're underperforming, so here's the bugger off bunny for you, buddy. Bugger off bunny for the that was easy button. You're not getting it right. I could hit the like button like a TikTok boxing match. Can I wait to call President Trump? My president, says Xavier. I love cold weather, man. Yeah, absolutely. I wear shorts almost year round if I can. Yep. I enjoy the winter in South Africa because it's not really cold. It's not really cold, man. Well, Dylan, you say that, but I'm attracting a lot of trolls. Did you see all the DA haters that came onto my video? Listen, I mean, look, you can say what you want about my video earlier, and you're welcome to, and you can criticize me, but everything I said is objectively true. The DA made a big impact. It has served South Africa well historically, but it reached its zenith in 2014 under Helen Zille when they got 4,004,000 votes. That's objectively true. And they deserved it. They earned it. And it looked like they were going to go somewhere. But then Musi Maimane and then John Stina down here. And now they're down to 3.5 million votes. And they crow and lie to the public saying that they've got more votes. They didn't. They got a higher percentage, but only because so many fewer people voted. So your number, which is static, virtually grain, nothing, actually lost votes, went up a little bit despite that. So, and then, so what I said when I praised them and congratulated them on their birthday was true, but when I also criticized them accurately and honestly for their lack of action over Bella, expropriation without compensation, the black tax, and NHI, factual, correct? And I said a lot of people are disappointed. You don't have to believe me. Just talk to South Africans. Look at the comments on my video. It's running 9.9 to 1 people disappointed in the DA. And I'll admit that my audience is not an objective slice of South Africa. For instance, I don't have tons of leftists watching my show, just a few. So, it's not entirely a balanced outcome. But the point is that when you have that kind of feedback, I had a lot of trolls come on there. Well, I like Trump, but I don't like you. Well, good for you. Futsek. No one asked you. Yeah. Jeremy's no longer in Jakarta. Okay. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah. The DA and for Rude Awakening. Yeah. They may go down to 16 or 14% the way things are going. Had lovely sun the past 2 days, but now warnings for massive cold. Friends in Karoo and Northern Cape lost livestock already. To the cold? What kind of livestock you got, man? Are your livestock bred by the EFF? They have no intestinal fortitude. They're dying in the cold. I mean, we have livestock in North Dakota in minus 60 degrees that survive. What kind of cattle you guys got, man? Are those cattle that Cyril sold to the Sudanese businessman for $580,000 stuffed in a mattress at Pala Pala? Not a lot of news about the NATO meeting, but the New York City mayor, New York is over. New Jack City, man. And New York is now the Muslim capital of America. We thought it was Patterson, New Jersey, but it's being taken over by radical Islamists. Yeah, who used to live in South Africa. Can you imagine that? From Uganda, lived in South Africa, a radical Islamist who is now taking over New York City. If, depending on how people voted for their ranked system, maybe, but I doubt it. It might just be possible that Cuomo could slide up with the ranked system as people pull out, but I seriously doubt it. So yeah. Explain why I say DA is losing support. Percentage might be up, but real numbers are down. Bigger share of a smaller pie. Exactly. Bigger share of a smaller pie and less people voting for him. Sorry, Chris, I was commenting on it not being cold. Oh, sorry, Jeremy. I was going to say, I thought you came out of Indonesia. Yeah. Well, Indonesia should never be cold. I mean, you're on the equator, man. Playing the permanent MP game. Don't care about their constituents, just protect their positions. The devil you know. Yeah, I think that might be a fair assessment. I didn't even say that, but I got attacked, which is to be expected because I was objective in my analysis. I did congratulate the DA on their 25th anniversary. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yep, the big rotten apple. That's what it is. New York is gone, ladies and gentlemen. It's Escape from New York with Snake Plissken. That's what's coming up next. The rapes, the murders, the home invasions, the outrageous property tax, the disappearance of majority Americans, now less than 1/5 of the population of New York City. It's total. Yeah, rank voting is a scam. Exactly. Shouldn't be allowed. I agree 100%. Lindy Dutoy, I had a laugh at the EFF uniform in your video. Thank you for. Oh, did you like that? Did you like that? No, the big beautiful bill has not been voted on. The July 4th is the target date. They sent it back to the House, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. Rank because it stinks. That's a good line there, Light Rain. When taking flack, you're over the mark. Well, yeah, it definitely shows. Well, but also when you're taking flack, you're also getting subjected to clear shadow banning. Folks, again, not to moan, but to be honest here, just take a look at my videos here. The content hasn't gotten worse. My last decent video was on the 20th. That sounds like not a long time ago, but 4 days ago. That was 63,000 views. Then 13,000, 4,000, 5,000, 8,000, 7,000, 3,000, 12,000, 14,000, 2,000, 21,000, 12,000, 10,000, 8,000, 12,000, 2,000. None of those videos broke 50,000. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 videos, and not one hit 50,000. Yeah. Well, this is why I quit making prepared videos last year, because they just wasn't getting the juice for the squeeze. Because look, I'm not complaining. I appreciate all those views, but YouTube was hiding my stuff, and it was a lot of work. So. Let's welcome you. The loss of your major cities is a sign of the beginning of the end. It is. It is a sign of the beginning of the end. That's right. South Africa will never ask cold. What's New York will become like Ireland, Germany. Yeah, it'll become like Paris or like Marseille. It'll be just like Marseille. Yep. Yeah, no, that's the target date, Shawnee, when it's supposed they want to approve it. I mean, obviously, Trump would like it approved before that. But whatever happens, they've got to sort this out. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to dig into the vault before we talk about the New York City mayor's race, in which Zoran Mamdani, a radical Islamist, is leading 43.5% over Andrew Cuomo, the disgraced sex pervert, with 359,000, 36.4%. Yeah, even if Brad Lander, every one of Brad Lander's votes went to Cuomo, every single one, which is impossible, that would give him just 47. He'd barely be ahead, but that's not going to happen. Yeah, it's over. New York is gone. So let's go back into the Wayback Machine with Sherman and Mr. Peabody. We're going to jump in the Wayback Machine, and we're going to take you back to the year 2010. And the reason I'm going to take you back to the year 2010, but before I take you back to the year 2010, I want to take you to today. Here he is once again. This man is just, he's at it again. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know this, this is the brain capacity, the intelligence quotient of 37, representative from Georgia. The representative from Georgia. I'll bring you Representative Hank Johnson. I say, boy, it's Hank Johnson. Hank Johnson, folks, here we go. Hank Johnson. This is, he put this video on his channel and not even remotely embarrassed by this video. This is Hank Johnson, ladies and gentlemen. Let's hear what Hank has got to say. I'm not hearing anything. Why am I not hearing anything? Okay. YouTube took the sound out. Nothing there. Sorry, folks. Okay, that went very poorly. Let's just close that up. Yep, YouTube is playing some games here. Let me do this. All right. That's just messed up. So YouTube has now done it. When you download videos, you can't get the sound. So it's okay. I have a solution for them. Just take me a moment there. Hank Johnson, come on. By the way, there's lots of clickbait on tonight. All these people that Israel, the ceasefire broken. It's all nonsense, ladies and gentlemen. It's all nonsense. That's not what I said. I said Hank Johnson. There he is, Hank Johnson. Let's get that over here. So, hello, Hank Johnson, baby. And I'll get the video later on. But here you go. This is Hank Johnson in his own words. I say, boy, it's a representative from Georgia. This is Hank Johnson, and we'll give you a Wayback Machine here in just a few minutes. But for the moment, we're going to talk about Hank Johnson. Okay, here we go. Representative Hank Johnson from Atlanta. Tell us, Hank, what's going on, brother? What do you got going on tonight?
Ladies and gentlemen, Congressman Hank Johnson here with my Fender Stratocaster.
Ooh, yeah.
Just recently picked it up. Thought I would try it out. I hate to hurt your ears and everything, but
then don't.
I'm just learning to play guitar. And it happens to be Black Music Month of...
No, it's not. It's not Black Music Month. You're just making stuff up now. Black History Month, not Black Music Month. Is it Black Style Month too?
2025, and so I'm compelled with a new guitar and with some thoughts about that old song, Hey Joe, you know, to give some commentary on.
Hey Joe, isn't the song Hey Jude? Maybe I'm confused. I don't know. Hey Joe. Anyway, I'm gonna let this play a little bit, then I'm gonna jump ahead.
Where we are now, and if y'all don't mind, I'm gonna just strum a little bit.
Of course, an expensive guitar is member of Congress. I can't play guitar, so I'll give Hank Johnson his props here. That's not too bad. But when he starts to sing, things get kind of ugly. About 113, I think it is. Let's see if we get up here a little further. Is this where he starts singing? Yeah, here it is. Yeah, he starts singing. Let's go from here. Hank singing. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Come on, Hank. Bring it on, brother.
Hey, Trump. Where you going with that gun in your hand?
Oh, dear God.
Hey.
What's worse, Hank Johnson or John Steenhuisen dancing like he's an African? Okay, look, I can't play guitar, so I'll give the guy props on that. It was better than I could do, but oh my goodness. No, he can't sing. He can't even think. Let's talk about him not being able to think either. All right, so this is a classic one, folks. We're going to bring this as a golden oldie. We go now with Sherman and Mr. Peabody into the Wayback Machine to the year 2010. All right, now this isn't made up, ladies and gentlemen. This is not made up. I mean, this is real stuff. You ready for this? Okay, here we go. This is Representative Hank Johnson at the House Armed Services Committee. This moron is from Georgia. I say Georgia, boy. Georgia on my mind. Yes, that's right. Hank Johnson. Some of you know what's coming. If you haven't heard this before, you're going to love this. This is classic stupidity. All right, here we go. Wait a second. That same thing, and they did to me again. Sorry, guys. Same thing. YouTube. I can't download videos anymore from YouTube because the sound doesn't come. I had that video somewhere and I couldn't find it, so now I got to go find it again. Ugh. Sorry about that. That's very embarrassing there. My apologies. My apologies. Not working out the way I planned tonight. I'm so embarrassed. So let's just go there. Hank Johnson, Guam. Come on. Some of you already know what's coming, so you hold your laughter. This one's classic. And they covered up from the Democrats saying, oh, he was trying to be funny. He wasn't trying to be funny. He's just stupid. He's just stupid. All right, here we go. Well, we got a commercial here we got to get rid of first. Representative Hank Johnson from Georgia. Sweet Georgia on your mind. Here you go, folks. Here's what he had to say. You ready?
Island that at its widest level is what, 12 miles from shore to shore, and at its smallest level or smallest
width
location, it's
location
7 miles between one shore and the other.
between between
Is
his
that
ears.
correct?
I don't have the exact dimensions, but to your point, sir, I think Guam is a small island.
Very small island, and about 24
Can you imagine being forced to testify in Congress because you're an admiral talking to a moron like this?
miles, if I recall, long. So 24 miles long, about 7 miles wide at the least widest place on the island, and about 12 miles wide on the widest part of the island. And I don't know how many square miles that is. Do you happen to know?
I don't have that figure with me, sir. I can certainly supply it to you if you'd like.
Yeah, my fear is that
Here we go.
The whole island will become so overly populated that it will tip over and capsize.
We can anticipate that. The Guam population, I think, currently about 175,000, and again, with 8,000 Marines and their families, it's an addition of about 25,000 more into the population.
The whole island will become so overly populated that it will tip over and capsize.
This bill, which shows that this Tea Party Congress
This Tea Party Congress. There's another stupid one from Hank Johnson. Hang on, folks. I gotta get it on the screen. Here we go.
will make the tough choice to keep children's birthday parties on schedule and give industries that rely on helium the lift that they deserve. Imagine, Mr. Speaker, a world without balloons. How can we make sure that the injustice of there being no helium for comedians to get that high-pitched voice that we all hold near and dear to our hearts?
Look, folks, I'm sorry. There's a certain demographic that votes for idiots like this in Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and they're not very bright. And they're certainly not very, I'm not going to say anything else. Wow. Yeah, he's been a congressman for 20 years. Yeah, stupid people, man. That guy in Atlanta, that's their congressman. He is dumb as a box of rocks. Being the clowny, as I understand, his concern over balloons. Somebody says he has his own handicap parking space. Tipping and capsizing the island. He's such a moron. Yeah, he's still around. So that was him playing the guitar earlier. Now you know how people like Kamala Harris get so close to the presidency, you know, and Joe Biden gets there. Yeah, is that the new ambassador? Yeah, he's not the new Rasul. Oh, we got our own version of everything you could possibly imagine. All right, let's take a look at this New York City race. This is pretty scary, folks. This is a radical Islamist. He's all but a jihadist the way he behaves. Unbelievable. So here you go. Let's get over here to this. There you go. New York City mayor's race will be decided by ranked choice voting, which is all bogus, but that's the Democrats. They're crooked as the day is long. Mamdani is leading with 91.8% of the votes counted. He has 431,000 demon rat votes, or 43.5%. The way this works is they'll start removing, once all the votes are in, they'll remove these people down here like Selma Bartholomew. Her 1,300 votes will go away, and then we see what the percentage is then. And then Paperboy Love Prince, seriously, Jessica Ramos, Michael Blake, Whitney, all these people be eliminated. But until we get up to Adrian Adams, nothing serious is going to happen. Then it's Adrian Adams has 162,000 votes there. And Cuomo's going to have to close the ground, man. Wow. Wow. Most of New York, except for Staten Island and Queens, apparently is gone. Manhattan is gone. Jiminy Cricket. Brooklyn is gone. Long Island is gone. All of it for leftist jihadist. Well, he's not a jihadist, but a Islamist. Original comment, very sad. Us Durbanites will take Stain in American winter. What's this card? This has to be a joke. No, it's not a joke. You think that's a joke? Ha ha. Okay, you think that's a joke. Here's Mamdani, who lived in South Africa a couple years. growing up. Leads New York City mayor's race after the first round of counting. Look at this. This city is gone. It is absolutely gone. This 33-year-old moron could be the next mayor. Wow. Well, the French got jabbed at a music festival. That looks like a trans, that lady there. It's supposed to be a French woman. She started to feel numb. So we don't know what these people were attacked with. We're still waiting to hear what that was from the toxicology. Someone tapped my left forearm. I started to feel numb in the muscle like you do when you get a vaccine. Injection mark appeared. It remains unclear if date rape drugs such as Rohypnol or GHB were used in the needle spiking attacks. Probably terrorism. NATO's new villain, Madrid, is refusing to meet their 2% obligation, let alone the 5%. Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez's 11th hour insistence that this country doesn't need to hit the NATO's 5% target and managing to get a carve-out in agreement with the spending goal. Well, I'll tell you what, then I think NATO should kick Spain out of NATO. We don't need it. Of course, there's U.S. bases there, so my government might disagree. German cabinet finally becoming warmongers. Well, finally looking up to stand up for their defense. Passes the 2025 draft budget with a leap in defense spending, finally getting off their backside and spending money. Germany's cabinet approved a draft budget for 2025 and a budget framework for 2026 to stimulate growth after Europe's biggest economy contracted for 2 consecutive years. The draft includes investments of 134 billion in 2025 and 123 billion euros in 2026. We are creating a historic turning point. Right. Not likely, Germany. Not likely. I'm sorry. It was broadcast live on CNN's political channel. Yeah, it's true. That's absolutely real. That wasn't made up. Canada wants a defense deal with the European Union. Why is Canada having a defense deal with the European Union? Canada's a NATO member. Most European Union countries are in NATO. Why would you do this? The Canadians are out of their minds. They're freeloaders. So if the Europeans want to protect freeloaders, go ahead. European Union and Canada struck a defense agreement on Monday, a step closer to closer military cooperation. Why do you need closer military cooperation with the European Union? The European Union is an abomination. It needs to be disbanded. I've had enough of it. That's Ursula von der Leyen right there. There she is, Ursula von der Leyen. And who's the other guy? Antonio Costa. Must be from Spain. Anyway, yeah. So a recent poll found that nearly 50% of Canadians were interested in pursuing a bid for Canada to join the European Union. An aspiration European Union officials have said is flattering, but impossible. Yep. Well, many analysts are telling South Africa's politicians to just sit this one out. It's payday. Let me see some shots, some schlitz. Thanks for all your time. Oh, look at that, man. Payday, Urban Homestead. Man, we get paid on the 24th. I don't get paid on a Monday or Tuesday. It's pretty cool. Thank you so much for that. Wow, that's very kind of you. Thank you very much. You're a fine American, and Elvis loves you, even if you're not an American. Elvis loves you. Well, thank you for that. Cool beans. That comes out to almost 100 American Samoans. Yep, thank you so much for that. I do appreciate that. That's pretty cool. Yeah, my channel is definitely being shadow banned. I can tell it was shadow banned when you get no new subscribers in an hour. We have been on for 42 minutes and not a single new subscriber on the channel. And I know it's late at night, but even late at night when videos are being watched and you're getting, a few thousand views per hour, you pick up subscribers. When your videos aren't being shown to new people, then you aren't getting new subscribers. Yep. 25th. Okay. Wow. Okay. Connecting the dots here. Funny how the countries that have flung their borders open, dare I say it, Islamists have their economies contracting. Yep. Alberta and Saskatchewan comes to mind. Just imagine how terrible, idiotic the people are that vote for him. Yeah. Oh, wait. We're living in a world full of weird people. Yeah, you're right about that. Spain actually have a serious high cost of living and very high unemployment. Well, that's because their economy is a mess. It has been a mess for many, many years. If it wasn't for Volkswagen's putting so much money investing through SEAT and other things, their economy would really be flailing. But a lot of analysts are telling the ANC to sit this one out, the Iran-Israel conflict. Yep. ANC's circumspect response on the rapid escalation of the Iran-Israel war is correct course to take when dealing with unpredictable U.S. President Donald Trump. According to local and foreign international relations experts, well, Donald Trump is not unpredictable. What kind of nonsense is that? He said there could be no nuclear weapon. He gave them time, and he took action when it was necessary. University of Johannesburg International Relations scholar Dr. Oscar van Heerden and Wits Professor John Streamlabs, an American academic, were reacting to the party's muted response. Van Heerden said the ANC and to a certain extent South Africa's government responses are such that when you observe that the violation of national law is being done by the United States, and there is no adherence to the UN Charter, and there is no adherence to international law with regards to active regulation, And given the fact that you are dealing with a madman in the form of Donald Trump, I think any country, including South Africa, has to be much more circumspect about what is going to be said. Well, I think Mr. Van Heerden's got his head up his ass. A madman. You're a freaking lunatic. That's not an academic. That's not academic. That's the language of propagandist and political activist. That's what that is. You can't be taken seriously as an academic if that's how you're going to do it. You're not on a radio show. You're good Lord. Wow. A madman, really, a madman. Because he's not a leftist, hate-wanking, self-loathing promoter like you are. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, stupid stuff. Stupid stuff. Yeah, Van Heerden. Yeah, okay, well, his credibility went out the window. No adherence to the UN Charter, please. The UN Charter allows for self-defense. This was self-defense. Yeah, that's right. Proactive self-defense. It's allowed under the UN Charter. Read the UN Charter. It says such a thing. Yeah, show him the bunny. Yeah, Mr. Van Heerden, here's the bunny for you. There you go, buddy. There you go. Yeah, what an idiot. What a fool. Wow. So, Mr. Van Heerden, speaking of no regard for the UN Charter, international law, acts of regulation, and the madman behavior, what about South Africa invading Lesotho twice in the 1990s, Comoros 3 times in the decade and the teens, South Africa going into the Central African Republic illegally, going into the DRC, staying there illegally, soldiers from the SANDF selling their weapons, running prostitution rings, and selling drugs. What about all of that? That's South Africa. So you're in South Africa. Let's talk about that. You want to call Donald Trump a madman? How do you describe the actions of Mandela, and all the others who came after him, interfering in African affairs? Thank you, Ingrid Inspirations. Pension payday for me as well. Thank you so much for that. Very kind of you. Don't send your pension money. Gosh. Yeah, unbelievable. I mean, seriously, Mr. Van Heerden, that's your analysis, calling Donald Trump a madman? You're a fool. You're an absolute fool. People like this have no idea how the world works and how dangerous things are. Unbelievable. Van Heerden added, and that's basically what the South African government can do. Now is not the time to want to boast about alliances and who's our friend and who's our enemy, because the United States is a wild card. Might do something terrible. Oh, what you afraid we're going to bomb you next, Van Heerden? Please, South Africa's not worth the time to focus on it. Not worth 1 GBU. Not worth the time. It's a country that's imploding. It's collapsing into the third world. It's not going to take any effort from the United States. The ANC has destroyed South Africa. You don't need the help from the United States or Donald Trump. Yeah, they think Trump winning is unpredictable. That's what they mean. We can't destroy him, so unpredictable. Exactly. Yep, exactly. Wow. So Streamlabs said, I think it would be inappropriate for the ANC to say anything, and that's my bottom line. It would be just inappropriate given the uncertainty surrounding the position of the weaponry. They're talking about it's unclear whether nuclear weapons are destroyed. Well, we hope there weren't any nuclear weapons destroyed. The idea was to prevent them from being built. Good Lord. Anyway, yeah, silly people. Hey, guys, did you hear about this? Israel was calling Iranian generals, telling them they're going to be taken out. Did you hear this? The Washington Post broke this story. This is a big coup for them. Washington Post broke this story. The Israeli warning called a top Iranian general, you have 12 hours to escape. An audio recording obtained by the Washington Post is a window into the covert campaign by Israeli intelligence to intimidate and divide Iranian military officials. Well, I would say that laser strike right there in an apartment building taking out an Iranian official shows just how controlled and measured the Israeli response was. In the hours after Israel launched the first wave of strikes on June 13th, killing top military leaders on nuclear sites, Israeli intelligence operatives launched a covert campaign to intimidate senior officials with the apparent aim of dividing and destabilizing Tehran's theocratic regime. People workers for Israel's intelligence services who speak Persian, Iran's primary language, called senior Iranian officials on their cell phones and warned them that they too would die unless they ceased supporting the Ayatollah. One of them estimated that more than 20 Iranians in positions of power were contacted. Washington Post obtained an audio recording and transcript of one such call, which took place the same day. Wow. He called up an Iranian general.
Hello, Sardar. Sardar, salam alaikum. Sardar, salam alaikum. داری؟ من از کشوری زنگ میزنم که 2 ساعت پیش سلامی، باقری و شمخانی رو فرستاد جهنم. الان برات تو بهت پیشنهاد میکنم.
I'm calling from a country that 2 hours ago sent some Bulgari, Salami, and the other guy to hell. Wow. Mossad is all over it, man. Oof, it's pretty scary. How would you like to receive that phone call? I wouldn't want that phone call.
اومد رو خط، بیارش رو خط. الان صدامو داری؟ گوش کن. من از کشوری زنگ میزنم، به توضیح میدم. خوب گوش کن. من از کشوری زنگ میزنم که 2 ساعت پیش باقری، سلامی، شمخانی رو دونه دونه فرستاد جهنم. الان تنها پیشنهادی هم که به تو میکنم، هم میتونم بهت پیشنهاد کنم 12 ساعت وقت داری که پاتو بگیری با زن و بچت فرار کنی، وگرنه تو الان تو لیست مایی.
Wow, you're our next target. Man, oh man, that's crazy. Yeah, okay, Karen, thank you. That's why I'm saying, you know, pension money, folks. Don't super chat if you're on a fixed income. Please don't do that. I don't want people to not have money that they need. We all need money, but yeah, Shadami, thank you. Yeah. Costa Camellia, you're in the States too. Oh, really? Wow, that's weird. Oh, I thought you were in the States. Okay. That's crazy. That's crazy. How precise is that missile? 3rd floor, apartment 3B. He's in the kitchen. No, wait, he's in the bathroom. Exactly. I mean, that's restraint right there. Wow. Not a good time to be a general there. Yep. Yeah, Charles. Well, if you don't answer the phone, they're going to fire the missile anyway, man. I wouldn't get rid of the phone. I'd want to be there for the call, so I know to get out. Netanyahu claims historic victory, says Iran's nuclear program went down the drain. After U.S. rebuke over strikes, Prime Minister says Israel has never had a friend like President Trump, vows to act with the same determination if Tehran attempts to restore its atomic program. In a video statement on Tuesday summing up the war with Iran, Prime Minister Netanyahu declared that Israel achieved historic victory that would abide for generations following the U.S. brokered ceasefire to end the 12-day conflict. He said Israel removed 2 existential threats, the threat of destruction via nuclear weapons and the threat of destruction via 20,000 ballistic missiles that Iran was moving to build. Israel would have faced destruction in the near future if we hadn't acted now. Wow. We sent Iran's nuclear program down the drain. If someone in Iran tries to restore the program, we'll act with the same determination, same power to cut off any such attempt. I repeat, Iran will not have a nuclear program. Wow. There you go. So, Benjamin Netanyahu. And thank you, Henny van Staden, for your membership. Oof. So it's already started with a report, which, by the way, has low confidence. The Defense Intelligence Agency assessed the report as low confidence, this analysis. At least that's what's reported. They admit it in one of these stories. So apparently classified report from the Defense Intelligence Agency, an organization I once worked at, where you can't get in unless you have top secret clearance and all kinds of other stuff there. I had to go through polygraphs to work there and all kinds of things. They're allowing scumbags who are treasonous pricks to leak classified information to the public. And I have not heard anything for an arrest. This is easily determined who did this. It's not that challenging. So it should be something that Tulsi Gabbard should be on top of, but she seems to be asleep at the wheel once again. So they're leaking, claiming that the damage was minimal. Okay, excuse me. First off, just as I criticized and I questioned the initial battle damage assessment when they said that the destruction was extensive, I question that because they didn't have anything other than some imagery on top of it. No boots on the ground, no one underground looking to see what the damage was. So how can you assess that? Now here we are a couple days later, and we have a report leaked from the Defense Intelligence Agency. Every leftist news outlet on the planet, CNN, Washington Post, New York Times, are running stories saying that it was minimal damage, that the program would be up and running, and all the fissible material was taken out before the strikes even took place. Number one, the second portion of that is factually a lie. We know that that's one of the reasons why the strike took place when it did, because the trucks were pulling up to remove the fissible material, and they were destroyed before they could get it out. That's the first one. Second thing is, any of these fools in these so-called newspapers and news outlets that think that these sites weren't watched 24 hours a day, 7 days a week by a dedicated team of imagery analysts and communications analysts from multiple intelligence agencies in the United States, United Kingdom, and elsewhere around the world. If you think that wasn't happening, that you couldn't move a cockroach on the surface of those facilities without somebody knowing about it. Give me a freaking break. And if there's clouds, well, we have the ability to see through clouds too, so stop the nonsense. And you're going to tell me that they moved the stuff out of there? No. And even if they did move the stuff out of there, it doesn't matter. How could we assess the damage, and how can you assess the damage for something that is underground until someone digs the rubble out and goes underground? I mean, this is absolutely comical. Well, the damage, it did not destroy the sites. How do you know they destroyed the sites? Are you out there with a shovel and a backhoe and a bobcat digging the rubble out of the entrance trying to get in? Good God. I mean, seriously, this is absolutely stupid. Early U.S. intel assessments suggest strikes on Iran did not destroy nuclear. What assessment? Based on what? U.S. military strikes on 3 of Iran's nuclear facilities last weekend did not destroy the core components of the country's nuclear program and likely only set it back by months, according to an early U.S. intelligence assessment that was described by some 7 people briefed on. 7 people have violated their clearances. Produced by the Defense Intelligence Agency Intelligence Arm. Pentagon study is based on battle damage assessment conducted by Central Command in the aftermath. The analysis of damage to the sites and the impact of strikes is ongoing and could change as more intelligence becomes available. But the early findings are at odds with President Trump's repeated claims that the strikes completely and totally obliterated Iran's nuclear. I criticize that, and I'm criticizing this. This is nonsense. This is just another effort to undermine the U.S. by our own media. U.S. initial damage report, Iran nuclear program set back by months, not obliterated. Now, how do you know that? Are you underground? Who has gone through the rubble? Who has dug the entrance out? Who has gone down 60 meters where that bomb penetrated the surface and then exploded? And the other 2 did the same thing. Give me a break. Good God. This is stupid people. This is people that have never served in uniform, have never served any important positions in the government or made any decisions that affected millions of people's lives. I have. Idiots. Early U.S. intelligence reports suggest U.S. strikes only set back. And how do you determine it set it back by months? Well, let me ask you that question. How does an analyst at DIA over the weekend, when they're not working, by the way, you do know that DIA is a Monday through Friday operation, except for battle cells. Well, there would be somebody battle cell in this, so they would be working this. But the rest of DIA, the long-term analysts, they work Monday through Friday and get federal holidays off. Yeah, mostly civilians, some military. Yep. I can't answer that question, Inkwell Odyssey. It's classified. DC region cooks under high temperatures, man. Triple digits today, right here. I was out in a heat dome settled over DC area, bringing high temperatures and humidity through Friday. Oof. Ooh. Temperatures in DC hit 95 degrees by noon and climbed to 105. That's crazy. A Stray Kids concert at Nationals Park was shut down early Monday due to the heat. I went to get a pizza at Little Caesars and they shut down. Apparently too hot in there in the kitchen. They just shut down because it was too hot. MK grounded in Zulu nationalism. That's what Floyd Shivambu and his pube beard have to say. Yep. MK party member Floyd Shivambu has penned a report that all but confirms he may be starting a new party called Mbayabuya Africa that is likely to consult about a coup d'etat, among other things. What? First off, why are you naming a party something incomprehensible or unpronounceable for much of the world? You know, you're going to look just silly there. No one's going to be able to follow your party. Well, the Springboks are celebrating the 1995 Rugby World Cup victory. It's been 30 years since they won that first World Cup, and they won 4 now. Should have won 6, but they won 4. Certainly 5, but the Springboks, they should have won in 2015. Absolutely. And they should have won in 2011. Absolutely. Yep. Yeah, Floyd Shivambu didn't realize that the MK party is a Zulu vanity project. He's a little slow, dim-witted. Yeah, so check out that jersey. That's the the test jersey for this year. 30th anniversary of their first World Cup victory, although there's nothing really there. It says 30th anniversary. I like the collar. That's pretty cool. Don't really care for the Nike swoosh. FMB logo is fine. But then here's the 30th anniversary one. Check that out. That's cool. Got to get me 2 of those, boys. Got to get me 2 of those. One of each. One of each for sure. Yep. Got to get one of each. Well, Pick and Pay is happy with the work of John Steenhuisen, who's canceled a contract that was awarded in 2016 for assessing things. There's John. Agriculture Minister John C. Nelson has revoked a contract that would have seen a company called Leaf Services appointed to carry out grain inspections in South Africa. Grain producer organization Grain SA and Pick and Pay welcomed the decision and said it would help avoid price increases for staple products. Industry claims that it does self-regulation now. All right, if you say so. Done. CB, done what? Done what? Are you out of here? What does that mean? What does that mean, done? The jerseys. The jerseys. Oh, CB. Oh, my goodness. All right. Wow. Oh, CB. Yeah, I got to get one of each of those, man. Morning. Guys, relax on the Professor G front. The guy's got a day job. He's got to focus on that right now, okay? He won't be back anytime soon. What's this love affair with Professor G anyway? Anyway. Xander has to be in home affairs. Well, that sucks. It's raining in Cape Town and cold, says Sandra. I'm sorry to hear that. Self-regulation is a fancy word for no regulation. Exactly. But why is government hand a contract out to a third party? Why is a private vendor getting this? Because it's BE. It should be government inspectors doing it. Yep. Toronto did a video on what's happening with Malema. I don't know what to say about Malema. I guess does he have some inside information? I don't get how they praise him when he just sold out chicken farming in South Africa. Brazil sends its crap here. They inflate feed prices, making it uneconomic actually farm to scale. Well, milk and honey, yeah, I didn't criticize Johnny Boy, but your point is a fair point. Nobody has mentioned my shirt. That's interesting. Oh, should have said consider it done. Thank you, CB. I got it. I thought like you're out of here. You're done. You're one of my most devoted viewers. I'm like, what do you mean you're going? Before the stream goes out for the 8th time since the stream started, I'm headed to bed. All right, well, Caustic Chameleon, I'm so sorry that you're having trouble. Yeah, it's YouTube. It's YouTube. The YouTube has got problems. I don't know if they're targeting people. It's just I think they've got problems right now. It happens. And I don't think it's fast growth. I just think they've got teething pains. You got to think about what YouTube is. It's pretty impressive technologically when you think about it. How many hundreds of thousands of people are streaming live right now around the world? And this will wind up being several gigabytes of data being stored, recorded, and then all the super chats come in, all the viewers, all the metadata for everything happening. Then I send it in from here to them. Then they send it all over the world and distribute to you guys in real time. It's unbelievably amazing what we do with this if you think about it. Oh, Myra likes the shirt. Okay, cool. We should all be in love with Chris. You guys be in love with whoever you want. I'm just questioning what the love affair is all about. Neurotic sociopath with a megalomaniac complex. Well, I can't disagree with that one, Richard. Let me see if I can find the Trump video. Someone sent it to me earlier. Where are you hanging out at? Come here, buddy. By the way, this was the video I put on that Zimbabwe thing. That's AI. I didn't like it. It made me look a little bit. Made me look like a general and old. Gave me wrinkles I didn't have. But it looked real, so I went with it. So this was the AI generated image that came up with for that video. So the uniform looks pretty accurate, except the patches are wrong, but that's okay. And it's got the Army War College symbol up correct, and people look real, and they're not all duplicates. They're not the same people over and over again, which is kind of cool. Yeah. So that's not bad, but my face isn't quite that narrow like that or that wrinkled. Yep. So yeah. Anyway. Yeah, but it looks real. It looks real. So it's pretty cool. Other than the fact that I look a little strange there, but yeah. So when I was working on some stuff last night, is this the one that has the sound to it? Yeah, that's Trump. But this one, he doesn't say the F word. Or does he? Let's see. This is Trump earlier today.
Yeah, I do. They violated it, but Israel violated it too. Israel, as soon as we made the deal, they came out and they dropped a load of bombs, the likes of which I've never seen before. The biggest load that we've seen. I'm not happy with Israel.
No, he doesn't say the F, so shame. Anyway, I have one of those where he says the F, and it's hilarious. Yeah, I mean, what was Trump expecting? He gave them 6 hours for Iran to cease fire and Israel 12 hours. Did they expect them not to go whole hog and blow all their ordnance? That's what I expected. It was brilliant. I mean, I don't know what President Trump was thinking. I mean, you brokered a ceasefire, not an instantaneous one. You gave them time to, to use the time to their advantage, and that's exactly what they did. Yep. don't know if I may say something about your shirt. I thought it seemed a bit forward. Okay, no, that's cool, Ingrid. That's fine. Yeah, you guys can comment on my shirts and my background. That's fine. I wear different shirts all the time intentionally. I could just wear a polo shirt every day. I've got plenty of polos packed. I picked up 3 more today, discounted ones from the discount club. 3 more Nautica polo shirts. So I'm going to retire a couple and put them in the Goodwill clothing donation. But yeah, no, I haven't worn this shirt since I came back. This is the new design for the Civil Defense Organization. This is from my trip to Uppington. Yep, this is nice. I like this jersey. So, shirt. F-bomb heard around the world. Unapologetically unfiltered. Yep. We love him too, but we love you more. Engel and Bernard. Baron Bernard. Okay. Better with wrinkles. I don't know about that. Anyway, so what I want to show you is these were I was downloading last night. I was trying to make that image you just saw. That's why I mentioned it. So that image you just saw that was AI generated. I'm going to start with a few pictures that I dug out of me in uniform, more recent ones, okay? And I'm going to show you those. And this was, hang on a second, let me see if I can get the right direction here. Yep, okay, I want to make sure I get the right ones. Okay, cool. So, yeah, I'm going to show you these photos, and then you're going to see the last one. And I used one of these pictures, and that's how it generated the AI image. So I used ChatGPT. Rakes, I mean, a follow-up video in Zimbabwe, I don't know. The problem is, I mean, even that one's done better than I expected. But even so, it's not like my normal videos. So there's been a slowdown. I don't know, maybe it's a slow news week or whatever. But that Zimbabwean one, like I said, is doing better than I expected. But it has 13,000 views. It was actually ahead after 4 hours of my norm, but now it's fallen right back into normal range of late. So yeah, it dropped off pretty quickly. But yeah, yeah, it's, I mean, that's not bad. I can't complain about 12,000 views, but it's not 100,000 views, not 200,000 views. And it's that one there, it was something I did years ago, and so I just was able to take the video and edit it and put it together. But let me show you this, guy. So here's some pictures of me in uniform mostly last year. So that's at the G5 Sahel Defense College in Nouakchott, Mauritania. I was a guest lecturer there, taught there. There I am at the podium teaching. And that is me sitting in a seminar room. Not long before I retired. I don't remember. That's that. That's someone else's office. Here I am. That's earlier. That's at the War College. See, I'm left-handed there. Yep. That's in my office at the War College in the building which has now been retired. You can see that I filled my wall up with mementos, not with awards. So in there, you've got the Hockey Hall of Fame in the top right-hand corner. You've got a leather map of Niger, from Niger. Behind my shoulder there is the Pentagon. That's a gift from the team that I worked with, the Defense Intelligence Agency. In the top, there's a World Cup 2015, the Hofbräu House from Munich, the Hershey Bears hockey team, a South Africa FIFA 2010 World Cup banner, Malawi, the warm heart of Africa, U.S. Army flag, and that's kind of how my office was, stuff like that. Here it is from the other angle there. You can see my guide on from when I was commander at Vicenza, Italy, and behind my shoulder is a map of Botswana. Then above my head is a gift from Uganda. At the top is a presidential daily brief. And then another presidential daily brief. Then in that gold frame just over my left shoulder is that's my patch from the Tunisian Staff College. Yep. So. Yeah, well, you keep no sidearms. Guns don't belong to you. But so everything on my uniform, everything I wear, I have to purchase citizen free. So, of course, I keep it. I've got all these uniforms. I've got uniforms going back to BDUs, I think, still. So there's my dress uniform. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rows of ribbons. And my air assault badge, my Intelligence Corps Association. That's what my office mate, TJ Moffat, really good guy. He used to be the commander of the United U.S. Forces for the UN, which is based in New York. Pretty cool. Yeah, really smart guy. Yep. That was at Army War College graduation. That's the plaque from when I graduated from the War College. Every year, the graduates have their name engraved on the bronze plaque, and my name is where my finger is pointing to right there. This is after I came back and I was teaching at the War College. I went and found the plaque because they don't go up right away. They go up sometime later. And that's the plaque that had my name on it. And so there you go. A graduate Army War College right there. Yep. There I am in my dress uniform again. That's at the War College. Actually, I think that's at the Exchange, at the PX, yeah. Outside the PX. I'm not sure what I was doing there that day. Here I am when I was a lieutenant colonel in Niger at World AIDS Day on December 1st, 2012. We're both signed an agreement. And there it is again right there. Journée spéciale de la mobilisation des FDS pour la lutte contre le sida. SIDA is French for acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. Yep. This is, yeah, that's back in 2012, December 1st, 2012. This is in Malawi with the Malawi Defense Force. We brought them $1 million worth of boots and equipment and uniforms. So I was looking at the boots that came in. That's also Malawi. I'm speaking to the press there, and some Air Force trainers are behind me. Another picture of me speaking to the press. That's also Malawi. We had a parade before they went on peacekeeping mission, and that's me sitting there. This is in Liberia a few years prior to that, before I left Liberia. This is one of my farewells. And that's in Liberia, another one of my farewells. That's the two-star general, Suraj Abdur Rahman. He was a really, really good guy. Unfortunately died a few years ago in New York prematurely. That was a gift he gave me, a couple of gifts, and that's me receiving. You see I've got fewer ribbons there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. 19 ribbons there. Yep. Here I am at one of the graduations, and that's in 2007 or 2008. That's Private D, Robert D, and this is a Signal Corps Support Specialist. That was a Signal graduation. Yep. And there I am at a different event in Liberia. You can see that my jacket was loose on me. It wasn't tight. You can see the wrinkles because it's loose. Yeah. That's not the case today. Yeah. And then that's how they made the image out of one of those. So anyway, so I just showed you this because I had to download a bunch of images and pick one of them. So I got the right uniform. So I got the right AI. So are you proud? Proud of what, Andre? Proud of what? Please answer the question. I'll be happy to answer it. I think Colonel Chris can dust off his uniform and wear it for us. Some picture opportunities. Well, I did wear my uniform Memorial Day parade. I wore that recently. That's on the channel. You guys can find that. Loretta learned more from that video from me than ever about U.S. Well, you should watch the video from the War College when I did the Great Decisions brief. We played that one time. Great Decisions. Let me see. Find that. South Africa's fragile democracy. Let me see if I can find that. Wow, look at this. Doesn't even show me there. Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay. 2018. This is the year before, February 2018.
Hello. My name is Adam Ferrari.
Hi, Adam. We really don't care. Oh, come on. It went back to a commercial again. All right, so this one here, that's from 2018. We played that one before. South Africa's fragile democracy. All right, can folks hear me in the back? I tell them that if you've ever heard me speak, I normally don't need a microphone. My voice tends to carry. But I know this room, the acoustics, so I gave in and I'm wearing the microphone. So I just want to make sure you can hear me clearly. Well, if you walked in, it's a little brisk outside. That wind, it's a bit Sorry, guys. Sorry, I turned it off. Yeah, sorry. So what I was saying, yeah, got it. The mic's on. What I was saying with the Zimbabwe thing is somebody posted a comment. They're trying to undermine the credibility. And, well, it was only like a couple of people there. How many people were there? And it was 20, 30, or 40 people between the people coming in and out. This event had like 200, 300, 350 people showed up at this event. The room was full. There were no empty seats in the places I can recall. And then when someone watched this before, well, what, it's all old people. Well, yeah, it's during the day. Most people have jobs. We have 4% unemployment. People are out working. My job includes, public lecture series and, for the public. So this is the Army History and Education Center, hosts these things in a big auditorium there, a big room. And this was there. And like I said, a few hundred different people were there. So anyway, all right. So let's go back to that now. Bracing. Ambient temperature, I think, is about 28 degrees. That's not too bad, but that wind, it's really cold out there. Contrast that with South Africa, where in the southern hemisphere, it's currently summertime. And people are enjoying 72-degree temperatures in Cape Town and about 80 degrees in the capital in Pretoria. So life's a little different on the other side of the world right now. Well, thank you kindly for that kind introduction. I do have a fair amount of experience on the continent, and I do tend to talk fast. So if I get too fast, just kind of raise your hand or do this like slow down sort of thing, okay? I get kind of excited. I'm very enthusiastic about Africa and South Africa in particular, which was my first love in Africa. Another thing is I like to connect with the audience, so if I walk amongst you, it's not because I'm a Lutheran minister, it's just because I like to... There's a lot of Lutherans around here. So I just like to connect with the audience. So anyway. Also, when I prepared this, I'm accustomed to taking questions as I go. But I understand that we want to do the presentation, then take questions. So I'll try to adjust now because I was preparing for a different approach. So my experience in Africa, serving the Army, I've served in those places. Let's see if I can run through the list. I worked at the National Security Agency, where I worked on Africa. Then the Defense Intelligence Agency, and at the Pentagon at the same time on Africa. Then I was in Liberia, Botswana, Malawi, Niger, Mauritania, Uganda, and finally Ethiopia. And in the middle of all that, I did a tour at the Africa Command after it was created up in Germany. So I've been around a few places. So I've also been on temporary assignments at over 35 of the 54 countries in Africa. So I've seen most of it. A few places I haven't been are the Congo, and I'm not in a rush to get there. If you know anything about the Congo. All right, so I'm a little reticent about the title of this topic. It's South Africa's Fragile Democracy. Here's the thing. If you're an Africanist, like myself, and you talk about Africa, it's very easy to start talking about all the challenges and all the problems and all the things that people think are wrong or going badly. There's actually a lot of good things happening in Africa and in South Africa. But I'm not going to talk about much of that today, unfortunately. So I didn't want to depress you. So with that, if I could get the video, just a brief video here for everybody to listen to.
course, there's the beer. So, yeah. All right, that's fine. Thank you. Can you stop the video there, please? Thank you. And switch back to the slides. All right, why did I show that? Well, for a lot of reasons. Number one, because a lot of what I'm going to talk about is not the best news. So I want to hopefully put you in a better mood. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty inspired by that. That is South Africa's national anthem. And for those who didn't see the bottom corner, that is the opening ceremony for the 2010 soccer World Cup in South Africa, or as most people around the world call it, football. But come to America, we set them straight. It's soccer. Which, little known fact, is the original name for the game created by the British. And they called it soccer until the 1960s when they abandoned it and started calling it football like the rest of the world. And then the Brits looked down their nose at us because we're a bunch of bumpkins because we call it soccer. But anyway, little side note. So the thing about that anthem is that it is an anthem that came from the original score. The music was played during the racist apartheid regime. They had the same song, just all the lyrics were in Afrikaans. Today the lyrics are in several languages. It's a multilingual national anthem. You'll hear Xhosa, Zulu, Afrikaans, and English in the anthem. And that's an important thing because that was an effort at reconciliation. This is not going to be a discussion of the long history of South Africa, although I'll have to talk a little bit about it just to frame things. It's going to be mostly a concentration on what's happened since 1994 and moving on.
Anyway, so there you go. That's that's a lot of was a lot of fun. I did that. So they asked me to do that. That was part of the Great Decisions lecture series that the Ivy League schools do every year. They pick topics. Could be Iran, nuclear capability, something else, the South China Seas, South Africa's fragile democracy. Because I was the Africa professor at the War College, they asked me to do it, and I said gladly. And they told me I had so much time, and then they told me I had less time. I didn't know that, so I had to adjust on the fly. So anyway, that's what that was all about. Hope you found that interesting. I've shown it a few times before because people want to see me in uniform. There are not a lot of times of me in uniform actually out there. That's one of them. So anyway, I just want to, before I lose this, I want to make sure that it won't always be there. So anyway, I want to download that real quick. Thought the anthem 5 are like, I didn't say all of them, Loretta. I just, look, it's a crowd of people from central Pennsylvania, whether it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The point is it's a multilingual anthem. Well, I do give lectures, Shawnee. Essentially, I gave 15 or 16 lectures at my meet and greets. Those of you who were at the meet and greet know I talked for 3, 4, 5, 6 hours to people. It was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. It was exhausting. I'm not 22 anymore, so it took a lot of energy to do that. Sure, here you go. Copy. That's from 7 years ago now. Wow. Geez, life goes by so fast. Life goes by so damn fast. It's 2018, man. Wow. Yeah, well, I don't feel the same about South Africa as I felt back then either. I mean, I wasn't necessarily optimistic, but I was honest about there was a chance for South Africa, but that meant that Cyril Ramaphosa had to be a genuine and serious president, which he's proven not to be. Enjoy your presence in lecture mode. You move. You have a good speech pattern joke. Yeah. Well, and Shawnee, also you have to read your audience. That's part of it too. And that's why, there's nobody in front of me. I'm looking at a camera and seeing myself and, and bringing stuff up. You really have to, a lot of people do this very poorly. That's not a criticism, it's just a statement. You can watch video channels. People don't know what they're doing. They don't know how to engage. They don't know the right aphorisms. They don't know the right behaviors. They don't know the right time to do this, that, and the other. For me, it was not a particularly difficult transition to do this because I gauge my audience. You have to read your audience. A little hard to read your audience when you can't see them, but it's still possible because the chat really makes it. So if I did a live stream without chat, and I've done that a few times because people were misbehaving, and we just turned off the chat so that we could just get through the news, it's not the same because I'm not. Then I'm just someone talking to a camera. But right now I'm not talking to camera. I'm actually talking to camera, and I'm engaging with my audience. And for me, that's the exciting part. I hope it's exciting for you too. And I guarantee you that there are very few, if any, content creators who spend as much time as I do engaging their audience. I do my best to get as much in there. That's why it really pissed me off when somebody said something about, so you don't engage me when you get a super chat. No, I go out of my way to engage everybody with a super chat or not, and that's a statement of fact. Oh gosh, Shawnee, the meet and greets were exhausting. They really were. They're fun, but they're exhausting. I mean, there were several that just went on for hours. The ones that were short was like the Opiplos one because I had to go do the clandestine interview with Thea. You know, Thea and I had to meet in Pretoria East, and I had to get there. It was a half-hour drive from me from where I was at Opiplos over to Linwood Bridge to get over there. And then I had to get over there and get parked, get my stuff inside. The manager I knew wasn't there on duty, so I had to ask for a room. Then they wanted to charge me 1,500 Rand to rent the room for just half an hour, 20 minutes. And they went and talked to the manager on duty, and he said, okay, let him have it for 500. So I paid him 500 Rand for the room, and then I was able to do it. But it was nice. The room was beautiful. They gave us everything. We had water. We had snacks if we wanted, but we didn't really want that. We just wanted to talk. We also had a whiteboard and everything we wanted, but it was just us meeting. So it worked out pretty well. Streaming is so hard. It's actually a lot of work. You are monitoring so much all the time. Exactly. You got a lot going on. And when people throw things in, plus the chat, people don't get their full thoughts out there, you know, and you got to adjust and learn how to interpret things. And sometimes you can get it wrong, you know, so you get mad at people for saying things and that's not what they meant. So like earlier, CB said done. I mean, I'm done or something. Or she said, I'm like, what? You're done. You're not leaving, right? No, she was saying that it's taken care of. So the jerseys I wanted. So thank you for that. I think you engage too much, especially stupid trolls who post nonsense. Well, milk and honey, it's all part of the program. So, yep. We all felt amazing in South Africa 2010. South Africa unites every 4 years to Rugby World Cup. Between that, it's crap. Never in the history of South Africa had we ever had that again, according to my knowledge. Sad they don't ever sing the anthem again at the great meeting. They created a great divide. Yep. Navy Mom's here. What's going on? Good morning, Werner Schmutz. I think it's so important to broaden our knowledge base from experience. Well, you know, not everybody wants to broaden their knowledge. You should see the black supremacists who had negative comments about my Zimbabwe video. Who's this American colonel talking about Africa? Go home. Dude, I was at home. That was in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. Moron. Osmongold sits with 90,000 viewers, engages the chat. I can't imagine that. I don't understand. Who is Osmongold and chats engaged with the chats? Well, I have 103,000 I engage. Oh, you mean 90,000 live viewers? Is that what you're talking about? Well, then he's got me beat, Milk and Honey. I have never had 90,000. You mean 90,000 live viewers? Wow. Never heard of him. Osmongold. Let's look who that up is. Never heard of him. Okay, well, then obviously I got competition here. Never heard of him. You guys listen to all kinds of stuff on YouTube, man. Osmongold. Okay, he's got 3.76 million viewers. That must be 90,000 same time. 400,000. What is he? I mean, this stuff is all over the place. Is he a gamer? AI guy? I don't understand his videos. I don't get it. I don't know what he does. Anyway. Marquin Joubert, this one's for the pensioners and veterans. Thank you. Thank you so much for that, Marquin. Appreciate it. The super chat. There's a lot of moving parts running, obviously. When the chat uses full sentences, it helps. Yes. Stephen Red Mace loves his content. Well, that's cool. Live viewers. Yeah, okay, Milk and He's got live viewers. Yeah. New anthem with one to be American. Yes, number of characters allowed on the line, live chat are understandably limited. Yeah, but also people don't use them properly. You know, people. I'm telling you, a lot of my viewers, probably fully 1/3 of my viewers, type incomplete sentences. They have a thought in their head and they put like 5 words in this, and like, how are we supposed to divine what they're getting at? He started as a gamer. Yeah, that's what it looks like. I'm listening while processing checks. Someone wrote a check for the year 2050. Wow, brilliant. He started being a very political now. He's against Hassan. He's a gamer turned political commentator. He now streams politics, riots, and news. Bring the right to a lot of younger people. Okay, cool. Well, I'd love to get a younger audience too. That's why I went to TikTok, but it's an evil platform. Yep. Goes where it's hot. Don't worry too much about that one. Yeah. Yeah, the people that chase the shiny new thing, that's the ones. I don't chase the shiny new thing. I mean, again, I made a video about the DA's 25th birthday party. That's not the shiny new thing. That's not going to get me. In fact, I've lost a subscriber, I think, because of that. Let me take a look. I think I was losing subscribers. Come on, YouTube. Yeah, I've lost 2 subscribers. And it's almost nobody's watched it. Yeah, that's not good. I lost 2 subscribers. And then the one I did the other day about where was it? Where people hear what they want. One of these here. I lost 2 on that one. I haven't had prepared videos where I've lost subscribers before. Complaining about the shots. That's where it all started. I lost 4 in that one. Initially, that was -6. So that's 10 subscribers that disappeared over 3 videos. I mean, it doesn't sound like much, but usually those 3 videos would have gained me about 100. So that's a big change there. So, but yeah, I don't chase the shiny thing, and I don't tell people what they want to hear. Thank you, David Delport, for the 14 rand super chat. Okay, Garrett, take care. Dr. Jackal Entertainment. What did I miss? The ceasefire is still holding, Roberto Wilco. It is still holding. That's correct. Yep. Anyway. Yeah, a lot of people are chasing the political thing now. Whatever. That's fine. But, you know, it's great. I mean, if you find people entertaining, but the question is, what are people's bona fides and what backs their analysis? It doesn't mean you can't have great analysis. It's kind of like the thing people are like, well, you can't be an expert unless you live there. That's not true. There's always a certain number of people in every activity in life, whether it's farming, whether it's porn, whether it's economics, whether it's politics, it's military, it's science. There are always a certain number of people that just get it. You don't have to be there or to have done that, but that number is very small, very small. Then there's a number of people who can take what they know and synthesize limited information and are very good at analyzing and telling you what's happening or going to happen. And I probably fall into that category, if I'll be honest. But maybe I fall in the first category. I don't know. But there are just certain people. Alexander the Great would have been Alexander the Great, no matter what. The guy was just, that's who he was. That's who he was. That's who he became. Of course, his upbringing and inculcation all had a lot to do with that. My upbringing was broken and messed up, but that had something to do with who I became because I did everything 180 degrees opposite of the failures I observed growing up. And the things that I thought were immoral growing up, I went the opposite direction. But didn't mean it was going to pan out that way. Could have panned out another way. But most people cannot synthesize things. Most people cannot empathize. Most people cannot put themselves in the shoes. Most people cannot divine or understand the motivations for why people are doing something or why they're likely to do something. And that includes most people on YouTube. Most people on YouTube are just talking out their ass. Salty Cracker's entertaining, but he's just talking out his ass. He's very entertaining. I haven't seen him for a while, but I used to watch Salty Cracker a bit, and I find him hilarious. His profanity is off the charts. People losing their mind over Donald Trump. Spend 5 minutes listening to Salty Cracker. That guy's got more profanity than you can find in a dictionary. But he's entertaining. Yeah. So Awaken with JP, very funny. That guy's got some great humor. But it also wears thin with Awaken with JP. Some people are very talented, like Samson. That guy, the lyrics he writes for his rap songs are unbelievable. Yep. Yes, that's correct, Holden Caulfield. We had more than one famous teacher. That's correct. He had very famous philosophers and teachers who taught him, and he also had very interesting experiences. But my point is that Alexander the Great, once he was Alexander the Great, was out on the battlefield, he was going to be great no matter what. He was going to be great no matter what. So at his age, my point where I was really going with that is at a young age, he was that great. Some people can be that great at a young age. Like when Ben Shapiro was coming up and he was a young author, and I was very impressed by his books. Like that Christopher Palin, who wrote those Dragon series books, very talented as a teenager, and now he's done quite well. But those are rare people that can do that. Very rare people. But there are some. There are always some people in any group, any cohort that just have that ability. They don't, because what I get all the time is it's like I get in the military, oh, you were a great officer because you used to be enlisted. No, I wasn't a great officer because I was enlisted. I was probably a more informed and better and well-rounded officer as a consequence of being enlisted, but that wasn't necessary for me to be a great officer because who I am, the content of my character, my behavior, my drive, my dedication is what made me a great officer if I was a great officer, not that I was enlisted. I knew people who were useless enlisted soldiers and then went through the process, became officers because it wasn't that hard to do, and they were useless officers. So people make assumptions about things which aren't always valid, and that's one of my examples right there. So most people don't get things unless they've done it or they put themselves. Some people just innately can do that, you know? I mean, look, I'm not tooting my horn, but let me ask you this question. How many people in South Africa took the time to find out what happened to the Forum for Democrats, how they were cheated out of a seat? An all-black, Tswana-based party in Zeros cheated out of a seat because of an IEC error. How many people even took the time to find that story out? Almost nobody in South Africa. I did. I have no dog in the fight. I don't live in Zeros. I'm not represented by these people. They're black, I'm white. So why should I fight for them? Because it was wrong. It was wrong. And I understood the context of how it was wrong. We interviewed Mark Atkins, the election analyst, and he told us about it. Then we interviewed Tabiso Modok-Bantwe, the leader of the party. And then we contacted NGOs and lawyers, and we got them involved, and they got their seat. And I followed up. I've gone there on a couple of visits and linked up with them a couple of times. So, my point is that I did that because I get it. I understood what was going on. And how many people can go? I mean, you see these people all the time. They go to South Africa, and they film things. And like I just saw a couple of these people who are supposedly very huge who went to South Africa. They flew over. They got lots of money. They got agents because they have hundreds of thousands of subscribers, but they know nothing about South Africa. They just glommed onto it. And guess what? They're all gone. They're all gone. Do you see any of these people over there now? Any of these YouTubers who suddenly were in South Africa and filming, meeting with farmers, going places and doing this, that, and the other? Have you seen any of them? They've all gone. The story's over. They've milked it. They've got what they want out of it. They got what they needed. They're gone. They don't give a crap about you. They don't give a crap about the story. They don't genuinely care. They're just chasing the next click. And that's fine. If they want to chase the next click because people find them entertaining and appealing, that's all fine and dandy. But the point is that some people are just there and some people actually care. The different parties and what they stand for, how many are there in reality? Then the House and Senate, Congress, President who have to say. Are you asking about the U.S., I assume? Just we're always worried people understand my Afrikaans English isn't my mother tongue. Ingrid, I wouldn't worry about that. It'll be fine. Some channels use AI. Yeah, they do. New York experienced intifada. New York voted to globalize intifada. Yep, you're right about that. X Factor is great character. Yep. Could you explain the different part? Okay. Hey, Army, what's up, man? How you feeling today? Everyone has his own talent. You must discover it, and you do it. Be proud of it. This follow top previous question. Okay. I know an infinite amount more about American politics than I do of South African, and I even think I know more about Americans about their politics. Interesting. But a problem on what the parents force their kids. Unfortunately, the algorithm rewards that. Yeah, it's right. It does. Have they been banned by ANC, though? Who, Charles? No, they haven't been banned. Well, if they were banned by the ANC, it doesn't stop them from talking about it once they're gone. You can still talk about South Africa. I'm in America. I'm talking about South Africa. No, it's there. Look, and I'm not criticizing. I'm just telling you that it's like a month ago, I had all these people, go watch so-and-so, go watch so-and-so, go watch so-and-so. They've got this great thing. Look at they're covering it. And you know what I said at the time? I said, that's great. They're bringing attention to the issues in South Africa. But where are they now? It's June 25th. Let me go and see if anybody that's not in South Africa is doing anything on South Africa on my For You page. Let's see. Come on, YouTube. Sky News. Australian military about the Rhodesian Bush War. There's News Pod. That's South African. And then there's Morning Shot. Wow, a lot of people watching Morning Shot right now. Huh. But not watching me. I guess these are a lot more popular than I am. Israel. There's not a single one of these people who jumped on. And there's, boy, Gareth's got a bigger audience than me. I always have a bigger audience than him. I've slipped down the notch a bit here. There's nothing here. Not one of them. But a month ago, all of these channels were popping up here. And a couple of them asked me to come on their program. Then they just disappeared. I guess they wanted me for background information. It's the same with the media. A couple of the major media outlets, one of which is very well known in America, asked me privately for comments and views. And then they used my content but didn't cite me as a source. That's dirty and underhanded. Yep. Yeah, there's no continuous follow-through. Exactly. Do I think the sudden change in Malema's behavior is internet? No, I don't think he's that bright. I don't think his behavior's changed. What's a core discussion, says Winston Smith. Well, we were having a little fun tonight. It's the Night Owls. We started with phone calls to try to call Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Hakeem Jeffries, Chuck Schumer, Marjorie Taylor Greene. None of them answered the phone when we called. Yeah, it was pretty fun. Yep, we tried. They just didn't answer the phone, man. I tried. They weren't answering the phone. Yep. Hello? They weren't answering the phone. Okay, so the question was about political parties by Loretta. Okay, I'm not sure what you want. Hey, David Delport, thank you for saying good morning. I guess the question is, you're asking about the American political scene. Well, we have lots of political parties, but only two are well known. The two well-known parties, the Democrats, Republicans, which eat up 95% or more of the vote in most races. So we have other ones, the Constitution Party, we have the Libertarian Party, we have the American Communist Party, American Democratic Socialist Party of America. These are just minor parties. The Green Party, the Reform Party. I don't even know if they're still around anymore. Really, it comes down to two political parties, the Democrats and Republicans. And President Washington warned us about the danger of political parties. They are dangerous. So those two political parties. We have three co-equal branches of government, although it doesn't play out that way. We have the executive, the president, and all the offices that fall under the president, and all the institutions and cabinet positions. We have the legislature, which is a bicameral legislature, which means two bodies. The Senate, which is senior, and the House of Representatives. The Senate, each state is represented equally, no matter what the population is. Wyoming, with 550,000 people, has 2 senators. California, with 40 million people, has 2 senators. They have the same weight in the Senate. 100 seats in the Senate, that's the senior body. Only the Senate ratifies presidential appointments for the ones that have to be ratified, like military promotions for officers and members of the Supreme Court and the cabinet and things like that, along with 4,300 other positions that are nominated positions. The Senate also ratifies treaties. The president can sign any treaty he wants, like Obama going to Paris and signing the climate accord didn't mean jack squat. Bush signing the SALT II agreement for strategic arms limitation talks didn't mean squat. Bush signed SALT II. Senate never ratified it. Therefore, it doesn't carry any weight. It's not legitimate. Obama signed the Paris climate accord scam, and we are not party to it. Although the U.S. government started behaving as if we were obliged to follow it, we're not. The Senate, a Democratic Senate, a Republican Senate, a Democratic Senate, a Republican Senate, never ratified the Paris Climate Accord. So when Trump took us out of it, it's a joke. We were already out of it. We weren't in it. Stupid stuff. So the Senate with 100 positions, then you have the House of Representatives. The population is divided into groups, roughly 650, 700,000 per congressional district. Each state is represented by population, not by citizens. That's a mistake. That's why they want these illegals in here. If you get 30 million illegals in here, then you change the outcome. Without the 30 million illegals, we would have an overwhelming Republican majority in the House and Senate, an overwhelming majority. But instead, states like California, New York, New Jersey, Virginia are flooded with illegal aliens, and the representation is based on population, even illegals, and foreign nationals, not on citizens. And so we are screwed because these criminals get represented by our representatives, and then states that have lots of criminal alien invaders get more representatives than other states. So it's called the People's House because it's by population. So like for instance, Pennsylvania has 17 representatives in the House. There's 435, and Pennsylvania has 17 of those. Okay, California has 54, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, 54. And that's where the electoral votes come. The Electoral College, every senator, there's a electoral vote. Every member of the House is electoral vote. Now, they're not the ones that have electoral votes, but they're represented. So each state has a delegation. So Pennsylvania will have 19 electoral votes, 2 for the senators, 17 for the members of the House of Representatives, and so on, like that. California will have 56. 54 for the, or something like that, 54 for the, 52 for that, 54, 52 for the representatives and 2 for the senators. And that's how the Electoral College works. So then there's the judiciary, which is just supposedly the Supreme Court and the federal circuit courts, but that's expanded beyond belief too. So there's supposedly 3 co-equal branches. The president decides, he signs laws. Congress writes laws, the president signs it. The president can veto it, goes back, it doesn't become law unless they have a 2/3 majority to override the president. Then the legislature can override the president, it becomes a law. But the president can veto a bill. Then the Constitution, the Supreme Court can review that law that's in place or the actions of the Congress or the president, and they can overturn it if it's incongruent with the Constitution or precedent in law. So that's the 3 co-equal branches of government. I hope that that is informative, and that's what you were looking for. No more wars for satanic Jews. No more stupid comments in the chat, please. No more stupid comments in the chat. How's that? How you like them apples? Okay. YouTube is acting up again. I can't even get into YouTube right now. Oh, there we go. Oh, it just crashed again. YouTube is a mess tonight. They're a mess. No wonder things aren't working out well. Truth isn't stupid. No, truth isn't stupid, but stupid unsolicited comments are stupid. Yep. You want to say something of substance. Don't make some stupid bumper sticker comment. If you got something to say that's of value, then say it. But stupid comments are stupid comments. The three branches of government are supposed to have checks and balances. Correct. That's correct, Linda Gordon. Although South Africa forms a key part of your channel interest, what would you describe as your biggest fundamental concerns about America? Well, my channel's fundamental focus is Africa and the United States, not South Africa. But because South Africa has the most widespread news organizations and the most things happening of consequence on a daily basis, and there are more people in South Africa on YouTube than other countries in Africa. That's why so much content is in South Africa, but a lot in America. Because of the censorship and what they did to my channels, I wound up putting most of my US-only content on my other channel. What would you decide is biggest fundamental concern? My biggest concern about America is 30 million criminal alien invaders, the prospect of Islamist radicals running our cities, and the what do they call this? Replacement theory, the undermining and swamping of America and changing our cultural norms without our consent and destroying the social cohesion of this country. Beyond that, my biggest concern is the debt and the spending, drunken sailor spending of the government and overtaxation. Those are my major concerns. Yep. How do they count as part of the population? Does that mean that people on holiday also get counted as part of the population? No, people on holiday don't get counted. We're talking about people living in America. They do census, and the census doesn't ask if you're legal or illegal. Doesn't ask if you're a citizen. They do census, and they artificially inflate the census when they think, well, we've underrepresented Hispanics in New Jersey, so we're going to bump it up by 300,000 Hispanics. They do that, which isn't even, it's nonsensical, and it steals citizenship from the citizens. That's how they do it. The census is the basis for representation, and the census counts bodies that are living here, not legal or citizens. Yep. Irig, what's going on? Great variety of topics you know a lot about, and that's why we are glued to your channel. Thank you, Sandra. Much better on TV. Thank you so much for that. I love your channel, and we'll stay here till you're not on here. Much better than TV. Thank you so much for that. Okay, what else we got here? Well, let's talk about South Africa, but not a word about Jewish communists who put the ANC in power. Keep covering. Okay, see, that's it. I asked you to say something useful. Instead, you just come in here and become a bigot. So, I just gave him a 30-minute timeout. You had your chance, but you can't come here and spew racial bigotry and hatred. We don't care for racism or bigotry. So if you want to be a bigot and a racist, go to an ANC channel, go to an EFF channel, go to one of those places. This is not your home. Go to the Democrats. That's your home. We don't tolerate that nonsense here. No, gerrymandering. Yeah, you're right about Holden. Yeah, but that wasn't what we were talking about. What's my opinion of Lancaster, Pennsylvania? It was once a beautiful town. It's been overrun by illegal aliens, and it's lost its character. It's got all kinds of problems. I go to Lancaster for minor league baseball to watch the Barnstormers, but Lancaster is got lots of problems now. Used to be a lovely place. It's still decent. Last South African census, no one visited me. I don't trust. Yeah, I've only ever once in my entire lifetime been visited by a census taker. Once. That's it. In California in the year 2000. I'm in my 7th decade of life now, and I've never once been visited by a census taker. So I think the whole thing is BS anyway. I think they just scammed the whole thing. And the one I filled out was the long form one. I had to fill out like 35 pages of questions on the 2000 census. Now, to be fair, when I was in the military and I was overseas in 1990 and in 2000 and in 2010, those 3 censuses, I was all overseas, and I was counted in the military census because they know exactly the number of people and they count on you. But it doesn't give the full census, it just gives a head count. So, yeah, but 1980, I was in Ohio, nobody came around. 1970, I had been in California, but I was back in Maryland, nobody came around. I was a little kid, but nobody came around for the census that I recall. 2020, I was here, never heard from anybody. Never heard from anybody. Johnny's been blocked, Myra. Just a question. How many stores in America sell halal groceries? I don't know any stores that sell halal. You got to go to some screwed up frickin' Islamist town like New York for that, or someplace like New Jersey. There's no halal stuff here, but it will be here soon enough. Our community has been invaded by Afghans that have been dumped in our neighborhood by the Biden regime. Yeah, so that stuff is going to be coming soon enough. Yep. Going to happen soon enough. You're part of a gym. You used to listen to, now we stream your channel, deadlifting 100 kgs now easier, dangerous depending on the time. That's funny. That's funny. Wow. I'm so glad to hear that. Wow. That's cool. So you're streaming and what, 40 people in the gym? I'm only getting one view? That's fine. UK looks like a Muslim majority country in a decade or two at the rate they're going. Yep. Yeah. Well, London's already that way. English are a minority. They're a minority in Leicester, in Birmingham, in Manchester. Yeah, they are a minority. You are true to the news, and I think you will always give us the truth. Your word stands true. Thank you. Oh, some people do get paid to troll, Jeremy. That's true. I met a content creator that will actually do anything, any story for $1, no matter what it spreads or consequences. Sure, trollers are now also being paid. Oh, yeah, they do. They do get paid. Yeah, no, I won't. So that's okay. Let me look. I'm not saying never. Like you guys have seen me run the ad for that app, but that's because that's for a friend. I've also run ads for other businesses occasionally for South Africa, just trying to promote South African business. And I'm not saying I'll never take money or take payment to do what I'm doing. I've never said that. But I have been offered money multiple times for advertisements. Some people have advertisements, like you see their whole thing is framed by ads. Others pitch products. I've never done that. I've signed up for it, but I haven't really signed on to it. I'll do it if I really believe in it. If for instance, if I offered money to promote this, I would, because I drink it all the time. I actually believe in it, But I mean, there's a lot of money to be made from that, but I haven't done it. Maybe if I had a lot more viewers, I might consider doing it. But I'm not going to just chase a story just because it's the popular thing. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it's something that's breaking. Everybody's on top of it. Sometimes I'll cover that story just because it's interesting to people, from my viewers. But I don't go out of my way to just glom onto things. So a lot of people are doing this to make a living, or to make money, or to become famous. I'm not trying to become famous. I'm not trying to make a living, although I wouldn't mind if I did make a living off of it. It certainly hasn't been the case. Until January this year, I poured so much of my own money into doing this. And people are like, how much money could you possibly pour into it? Well, this computer cost me over $2,000, about 50,000 Rand, custom built. This studio, all this stuff in here, I bought all the stuff in here except the YouTube plaque. That's the only thing I haven't bought. And all that adds up to $1,000. Studio lights, microphones, cabling, equipment. And that's just the start of it. Then you have on top of that, I've traveled all over the United States to bring content to people. I've traveled to South Africa 5 times, to Botswana once, to the UK a couple of times, to Europe, all over the world, trying to bring people content. That costs money and takes time. And the real cost of that is not, the $3,000 for a plane ticket, or, $100 a night for a hotel, or $50 a day for a rental car, or $30 a day, or $50 a day for meals. That isn't the real cost. That's the current cost. The real cost is the opportunity cost. The 5 jobs I've turned down, all paying north of $200,000 a year or more, so I could keep doing this and bring stuff to people. So, look, don't cry for me, Argentina. I'm not asking for sympathy. I'm just telling you that it's just not my cup of tea what some of these people do. Time is the currency of life. Spend it wisely. Exactly, Milk and Honey, and I think I'm spending it wisely. I agree. If you have 500,000 viewers or more, then why not? It takes a lot of time for that, yep. Besides equipment and travel, your time is money. Yep. Speaking of Jim, ever watched the Anatoly Jim Prankster? No, never seen that. Starbucks, yeah. Allah is short for ayat. Islam is about worshiping governments, not God. I don't think so. I think it's about submission, which is what the word means. Islam means submission, and I'm not submitting to anyone. You can always make money. Time is not a renewable source. Exactly, Rudolph. I think that's true. I think it's true. Bernie Sanders and Joe Rogan interview was concerning. I think Joe agreed to socialist ideas of Bernie. Yeah, again, I still haven't got a phone call from Joe Rogan or Patrick Ben-David or Dave Rubin or any of these guys. I haven't got a phone call back from John Solomon or from Laura Logan, whom I wrote to. So sad about Maryland. Lived there for a bit, then a year on naval base. Believe it has gone downhill. But Maryland is overpopulated. And it's overpopulated by leftists. The House of Delegates, which is the legislature, the House, is basically a leftist cesspool of vipers and snakes. And they have stupid ideas about Maryland. And it's a difficult place to live. It's a beautiful geographic location. It's my birthplace. I love Maryland in many ways, but and I lived there at Fort Meade, but I couldn't live there now. I couldn't live in Maryland. Yeah. Does the income from this channel threaten your pension? No, it has nothing to do with it. No. I can make whatever money I want from any source. I'm not making any money from the Truth Report, but if at some point I were to make money off the Truth Report, it has nothing to do with this. The money I make from contracting and from consulting doesn't affect my pension. My pension is my pension as long as I draw breath. I'll get that pension, and yeah, it doesn't change. That's a benefit I earn through my service, and it doesn't go away. It isn't affected. Social Security doesn't affect it. No, I get that no matter what, as long as there's a country. Thomas Massey was very impressive in the Vaughn show. He is big on stopping the deficit. Well, yeah, but his stupidity and comments about Donald Trump and the War Powers Act really show that he has an empty vessel. It's amazing how things that are made for good are generally used, successful, used for bad. Yep, been watching Sentinel traveling through all towns in USA. I have no idea who that is. I had a conversation with a Vietnam vet. He said he was afraid to make too much money for that reason. Well, the Vietnam vet doesn't know what they're talking about. Your pension isn't affected. So he's clueless. I don't know what he's talking about. It has nothing to do. So the bit of money I make off this has nothing to do. It does affect taxation. And what sucks is because it's self-employed, I've got to pay twice the rate of taxation for Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. So I pay the full ride, the whole 18%, not half of it, which sucks. Yeah, I mean, so in theory, I could take a job and work. Then when it's eligible time, take my full Social Security, which isn't a lot, my military pension, still make money off YouTube, and that'd be like 4 different sources of income. And if I'm making money from here and there, so yeah. One of the things I actually kind of hope to do, but I've never pursued it, I just kind of hoped it would happen for my consulting, is I really kind of wanted to be a public lecturer. You guys saw that Zimbabwe lecture. You saw the South Africa Fragile Democracy lecture. I did so many speaking engagements in the last 2 years I was at War College. I was everywhere. I went to London to speak about repatriating Daesh and ISIS fighters and their families. I went to Africa to speak. I went to Colorado to speak at the R-Day Summit on alternative energy a couple of times. I went to Denver. I went to Chicago to speak at Librarian Studies Association. I went all over the country speaking and also around the world speaking, and I was asked to go. But while I was a good speaker, or a great speaker, depending on your view, that wasn't the reason I was invited. That could have been dumb as a box of rocks. They didn't care. What they really wanted was the title that came with my name, Colonel, U.S. Army, Director, African Studies, Army War College. Once that Director, African Studies War College is gone, it doesn't matter how talented I wasn't famous, so I wasn't in demand anymore. I went to Chicago and spoke at an Investing in Africa Summit. I went to Vancouver and spoke. Yeah, and I kind of hope that that's what it'd be. I get to travel around, give these speeches and lectures, meet people, talk about things of interest to people, but COVID ruined that. Not a lot of people doing that anymore. Not a lot of demand for it, so it just killed it. So COVID destroyed that model, that business model that I'd hoped to have. That was going to be a big part of my. So now I give lectures all the time when I travel, but I don't get paid for it. So leftist couple come stay at Airbnb. They kept on spouting crap, but they both were here on Social Security and traveling the world on the U.S. dime, but hating on Trump and Elon. Yeah, they're ungrateful pricks. There's so many ungrateful pricks in America, so full of themselves, so arrogant, so self-entitled, so it's just ridiculous. Dark Tracks, welcome to you. What is life like in Baltimore? Well, it depends where you're at in Baltimore cycling journeys. There's some nice neighborhoods in Baltimore, but row houses on the east side, the west side of Baltimore, no thanks. There's some Druid Hill area, very dangerous. Anything out near the Pimlico racetrack, dangerous. Downtown is nice, but a few blocks from downtown is nasty. Baltimore is an odd city, but the Inner Harbor used to be gorgeous, but it's going to crap now. It's falling apart. They're not maintaining it, and business is closed. The COVID thing was deadly for the Inner Harbor. It's kind of sad, but it's still a beautiful geographic location. We have a lot of immigrants now in Australia. They are driving the price of homes out of reach. Yep. Well, we've got that here. Well, housing is going to become more available as the criminal alien invaders are ejected from this country. 1 million of them have left of their own accord. Now we just need 29 million more to get the hell out. Luke McFadden, who's a crabber. Is that the guy you guys told me to buy my crabs from? Ever considered teaching? Yes, I have. I have, Loretta. I've considered that, and I've looked for vacancies. I applied for a vacancy at a nearby university, kind of an Ivy League school, but they never had the courtesy to respond to it. I'm eminently qualified for the job teaching political science there, and they never responded. I went there and asked them about it, and they had their head up their ass. Obviously, it was a job announcement that was intended for someone that they wanted to get the job, and they never had the courtesy to get back with me. Yep. So I told you, Leon, I meant no SCOM or municipal service of living. Okay. Have an awesome, blessed day. I'm getting ready for work. All right. Infrastructure is crumbling in blue states. Could be true. If I get a job, my SASA pension gets reduced, and if you're married, you only get half. That's just wrong. Yeah, well, in America, you have a means test for Social Security. If you make a certain amount, they take your money away, which is bullshit because you paid that money in. That's supposed to be your benefit. So the only way you get your full benefit is if you live off the Social Security, but who can afford to live off that? So now the exception to that is, I guess if you have investment income, then it doesn't affect it. Right, I'm not a lefty, so they won't take me. Yep, that's exactly what the problem was. It's a university that's full of leftists. Dickinson College in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. They had a position, and I applied for it. They're very disrespectful and rude people. Not even the courtesy to respond to me. That was just rude. And the position never closed, which tells me it was all bullshit. So I actually would love to teach university. It'd be fantastic. There's a couple more schools around here. When I retired, I almost took a position with Penn State at the airport at Middleton where they teach German. I was going to go teach German. But I decided against it, and then COVID started, and it was probably the right decision because I would have been let go right away. So then there's Messiah College, which is a Christian university. I'd love to teach there. That would be amazing. It's a university now. It was a college. So I keep saying college. Messiah University. It's a fantastic place with a great sports program for men and women. A lot of really good people there. Messiah is amazing, but I can never find any professor jobs there. So, yeah, I'm the wrong kind of lefty. I'm left-handed, not left political. So let me see Messiah College and Messiah University jobs. Jobs. There we go. Jobs. Okay. Employment opportunities. Let's see what they have right now. Okay. I want faculty. So physics, computer science, nursing, physiology, marketing, geology. That's interesting, but I'm not qualified. Engineering, global health, engineering, chemistry. There's nothing there. International relations, political science, language, nothing there. So let me look at administrative. I look at York College, which is in another direction. So administrative and staff. These are entry-level jobs for cooks and groundskeeper. That is not exactly my cup of tea. Assistant women's lacrosse coach, administrative coordinator, and recruiter, game day manager. That sounds like fun. What the Chicas on the lacrosse team. I don't think they'll take me. So there's nothing at Messiah. I looked there periodically. There's actually a retired Army guy that works there. I don't know how he got a job. I don't know what his skills are, and I just came across his name. So I went York College jobs. Let's check that. Employment opportunities, York College of Pennsylvania. Administrative faculty. Okay. Faculty openings. Let's see. Adjunct faculty, engineering, gerontology, aging services, film, psychology, sociology, American politics. Okay. That could do it. Adjunct professor. That could do it. Wow. Closes in 2 weeks. I could look into that. American politics. Wow. Part-time. That would be okay. I could do it part-time. Assistant professor of composition, rhetoric, and director of foundation communication. Yeah, okay, well, there you go. And there's physical geography. That would be cool, but I'm not qualified for that. Yeah, so what does it say? Develop and teach introductory courses in political science and collaboration with relevant program faculty, department chair. Deliver 2.5 hours per week per course of face-to-face lecture. Hold office hours for at least 1 hour weekly at a time convenient for students. Communicate clearly and responsibly with students enrolled in part-time faculty members course. Minimum master's degree in political science or related field. PhD preferred. Well, I don't have a PhD, but I have related field. Teaching experience in political science at college level. Well, I'm taught at the Army War College. Yep. Equal opportunity employer. There you go. Cool. Opening date June 16th, closing July 11th. And that's for the fall. Anyway, yeah, so, you know, I like teaching, but I like that part-time. You can't take a full-time job, we'll miss you. Struggle finding my field. I'm a land survey draftsman. So look at that right there. I just found one job, and let me go back and see if Dickinson College still has those jobs. Dickinson jobs. Okay, jobs at Dickinson College. Okay, Charmaine, 140 rand. Thank you. Okay, benefits, campus, human resources. Where are the jobs at? Okay, faculty opportunities. Okay. Professor Spanish, chemistry, professor of American Studies, 1 year visiting, visiting international scholar position, German. Well, I'm not visiting, so I can't do that. Biology, international business, cultural anthropology. Oh, that's cool. Okay. Yep, professor of religion. So there's nothing there for that job. Either they filled it or they didn't fill it. I don't know. So that's, yeah, there you go. That's all jobs there. Marc-Ange Joubert, develop your own course. I would enroll. I have taught my own courses. Yeah, I have taught my own courses. Absolutely. Maybe I should do that and make it I don't know how I would do that. I have to have another channel. So, or put it on something where it's behind a paywall. Like, I could put it like on, but then people just copy and pass it around. So, okay. Jean-Luc Gibson, have a good day. Start taking most jobs. Huh? On Udemy. What is Udemy? What is that? U-D-E-M-Y. Udemy courses. It looks like it's all AI. Why would I do that? Okay. Online learning, yeah, but it looks like it's all AI. Teach on Udemy. Okay, let's see what it says. Become an instructor. 80 million students, 75 languages. Plan your curriculum, record your video, launch your course. All right, well, I'll check into it. All right, wonder how it works, how they pay you. It's just a platform, okay. You've done a lot on there. It's really good. Okay, well, I'll check into it. Okay. Spoke to a high-level guy the other day. His company placed Carney on the Bank of England job. Eddie Jones and the Japanese rugby team got his 2 sons in AI, and he was saying AI will start doing jobs. AI, artificial intelligence? I don't know what you're talking about there. Cultural anthropologists become very biased and entrenched in Marxist postmodern ideas. Well, not my cultural anthropology. No. See, I have a whole problem with the term indigenous. Nobody's indigenous. There's no such thing as indigenous. No, we all came from somewhere. Every human community is not where it started. They developed in a place after arriving there. Every human community. Native Americans are not native. They came from Asia. There were no humans here. No Homo sapiens in North or South or Central America. Not a single one. 30,000 years ago, not one. But there were 30,000 years ago, there were humans in the Middle East, humans in Africa, humans in Australia, humans in Micronesia, and in Asia, and in Europe. But there weren't any hominids in the Americas. Yep. It's crazy how out of the control house prices become in Cape. Yes and no. Yes and no. It's just, yeah, they have soared, you're right, but it just depends what you're looking for. I had a conversation today with someone who's a South African expat, now an American citizen, who owns a business and they want to open a satellite program in South Africa, and they're asking for my advice. It's a South African who is back in South Africa now, but feels like an alien because they haven't been there for 30 years. So we had a conversation, and I'm touching base with these folks, so we'll see what happens. Everything, even psychology and IQ studies, should be politically correct and not fact-based. Huh? No, they shouldn't be They shouldn't be politically correct. Should be fact-based. Simone says the Colonel's at another level. Thank you for that. Cool. Yeah, culture anthropology. Hey, Sedgefield, what's going on, man? Spend more time fishing? No. Fishing's boring. Any areas of your expertise that would lend towards continuing education requirements for any licensable career areas? I don't know if I have skills for anything that requires a license, that people need. All right, we've been at this for 2 hours. I didn't realize it was 2 hours. Wow. But we have half the audience we had last time. Last time we had twice as many people show up. Mondays seem to be better. Mondays seem to do well in the news and even the night thing. But the rest of the week, sometimes we struggle unless there's an event breaking. So go to bed. Yes, it is 1 o'clock in the morning. How many hours sleep do you survive on? Not much. Yeah, as far as AI taking jobs, we'll just create jobs in another fashion, That's been the history of technology. When technologies come along, we create new fields. And yes, AI can take those over, but we'll find new ways to employ people for clever. We're clever. All right. You're welcome, Aris. Thanks for the super chats, guys. 2 new members. Thank you for that, or renewed members. And thank you for your patronage tonight. We hit 200 viewers about 30 minutes into the program after climbing the whole 30 minutes, and then we've been above 200 the whole time. So I'm going to wrap it up here, and tomorrow's Wednesday, my busy day. We'll have Ronaldo, myself, earlier broadcast for the news because it starts earlier, then Ronaldo, then my radio program tomorrow night, and Thursday we will have Earl Langdon, one of the 59ers. He'll be on here, and we don't see him on camera because he's not hiding. He's already been in the mainstream media. CBS and others have covered him. So he'll be talking to us about his experience as one of the refugees that came over. And then still waiting to hear back from Thea. She's been very quiet. And then I will have later in the day at 8:30 South African time, Joe Emilio will be on to talk about his documentary, Stolen Ground, about the Tigerberg racetrack and what happened there. Friday, I may or may not. You won't see it here. It'll be published later on. But I'm waiting for a response back from Corne Mulder, Theo de Jager, and Poppenfuss about when and where I'm going to meet them at. Okay. You're welcome, Blodkop. I think YouTube cap your audience. Yeah, I think so too. Expat Fab, not telling people about it. Hope people find it tonight. We didn't show any guns or bang bangs or pop pops tonight, so the only deadly weapons were these hands. So hopefully it won't be a problem. All right, guys, be well. We'll see you tomorrow, and appreciate your support for the channel. Yeah, but right now we're kind of in a rut. It's just us, just us, guys. Yep. So, all right, and we'll see you later on. Thanks for being here. Cheers.